Hey, Claude Pelanne here, Affiliate Starting Line. Welcome. This is a continuation of the SEOmoz Beginner's Guide to SEO video series. And this is Chapter 10, and we're going to break Chapter 10 down into 4 videos. This chapter is about measuring and tracking success. And it talks about, in the early part of this chapter here, that it's very important to measure what you're doing, because that's the only way you're going to be able to track and be successful. And it talks about 5 key tracking metrics that you want to use. And you can access those metrics through a analytical tool. And the one that I'm going to be using, the one they recommend, and they also have one of their own at SEOmoz, but the one I'm going to be using is Google Analytics. And I have some videos that explain how to set up an account there and how to set up your website there. So metric number 1 that you really want to look at has to do with search engine share of referring visits. So there are 3 different ways that you get visits to your website. First one is by direct navigation. That is, people typing in your URL into the address bar and coming directly to your site. The second one is referral traffic. So these are links from other websites, trackable emails, promotion, branding campaigns, that sort of thing. That's the second way that traffic comes to your. And then the third way that traffic comes to your sites is from search engine results pages. In other words, somebody types in the search box of a search engine and your website shows up in the search results on the organic side. So you want to know what percentage of your total searches are coming from the search engines, what percentage are coming from referral traffic, what percentage from direct navigation. That's basically what you want to find out. And that's going to help you identify the strengths and weaknesses. And over time, it'll help you set up a comparison so you can set up trend data and see where your traffic is coming from. So to give you a quick example, here's a copy of the Google Analytics dashboard for a website. And on the lower right-hand side, you have a pie chart. And here it's showing those different traffic sources. So in blue, you've got the referring sites, and that's the largest portion of where the traffic is coming from for this site. Second one, it's coming from search engine organic, and then the third, it's coming from direct traffic. And then there's a fraction of a percent from other. So that's what you want to track in metric number 1. And you want to know what that green portion, what that search engine portion is as compared to the other 2. And then over time, you're going to see whether or not you can build it and get that to grow even more. So, and if you're doing PPC and all that kind of work on your site, then the search engine return of that equation is going to be important. So that's metric number 1. Metric number 2, how do the 3 different search engines, basically Google, Yahoo, and Bing, break down in your statistics? So there, what it explains here is that 95% of all search traffic in the US come from Yahoo, Bing, and Google. 80% of the search traffic comes solely from Google in a lot of markets. In the US, I think the Google market share technically is between 68 and 70%, with maybe 18% going to Yahoo and another 10% going to Bing, and then the rest of it coming from AOL and Ask. So you want to compare the numbers between your specific numbers and the benchmark market share that usually comes from those search engines. And if by doing that, you want to track your search engines broadly and by country, you want to see where these, what the contribution level of each search engine is in accordance with its estimated market share. And you want to keep in mind also that different search engines have different characteristics. So if you're into technology and internet services, if that's the nature of your business, you're likely to get higher traffic numbers from Google because Google is more tech savvy and it's got a more tech savvy demographic. So if if your site is about cooking, sports, and real estate, then you're going to be closer to the kind of normal benchmarks that those search engines return. By tracking the different types of search engines, you're going to get it'll give you the idea over time as to how to measure upticks and downticks of traffic. So, for example, if your Google traffic statistic drops, but your other 2, with Bing and Yahoo, stays steady, that should tell you that Google has penalized you for some reason, and you can go in and try to figure out why. So that's one way of using those statistics. And then the other way is to uncover strategic value. So you're going to learn that in certain cases, for example, on-page optimization and keyword targeting work better with Bing and Yahoo, while building backlinks with anchor texts and all sorts of backlinking tactics work better with Google. And so you'll understand how to adjust your strategies and your tactics according to the numbers that you see in that breakdown between search engines. And you also have to understand here that, if your site is underperforming at one of the search engines, don't panic. The search engines have specific demographics and biases. So Google's market share normally in the US, as I said before, is between 65 and 70%. But SEOmoz says that in all of its statistics, it's really getting 80 to 85% of its traffic from Google. So, you have to really kind of measure it according to your own business and your own niche and business sector. And then it tells you, don't rely solely on ComScore, Hitwise, and Compete. You might want to use your own methods of trying to figure out how this metric works by running your own PPC campaigns and making sure that your configuration for each search engine is the same, so that you're not blocking, let's say, DMOZ in one search engine and allowing it in another, and that sort of thing. So that's the second metric. So these are the first two metrics that you want to look at. In the next video, we're going to take a look at 3 others. I hope this has been helpful. This is Claude Pelanne at Affiliate Starting Line. Stay with it, stay well, and we'll talk to you soon.